What is up, people of YouTube? I'm back, and it's Peaky Blinders time again. This time, obviously, series 2. Again, I'm going to quickly go through the episodes, give a basic idea of what happens in each one, and then give my thoughts on the series at the end of it. So, without further ado, I'll crack on with it. So, episode 1. 2 years have passed. Freddie has succumbed to illness and he's died. At his funeral, Tommy asks Ada to come back, even though she's angry that he's been really successful with his mix of legal and illegal businesses. Their pub, the Garrison, which I mentioned there on my t-shirt, excuse me, I've got a bit of a dry throat, gets blown up. So Tommy goes straight to the Black Lion and accuses the Irish guys, his rivals, of doing it. Turns out they haven't, but they have a proposition for him, but it involves a murder. So he goes home, informs the family that he plans to expand his bookies business to London, but John's wife, Esme, warns him of its dangers. John is obviously not the youngest, but he's the youngest of the 3 main Shelbys that's involved. Like I said, his wife Esme says, you know, it's going to be dangerous, already bad enough trouble going on down there, stay away. Anyway, Tommy takes Arthur and John to London, to a club run by a guy called Darby Sabini, and he controls all the race courses down south here in England. And the Peaky Blinders are just not, the Shelbys are not at all welcome. Back up in Birmingham, Ada gets abducted by Sabini's thugs, and they give Tommy a right kicking, a really severe beating, and he gets saved by the reappearing Chester Campbell. So obviously we know who shot who. No, we don't. All I'm going to say is that Chester Campbell returns, so I'll leave that at that for now. He's told Churchill that he has a new undercover agent working in the area, which obviously he's going to, you know, keep to himself. Meanwhile, Polly, who is the sort of matriarch of the family, visits a medium to find out if she can tell her anything about 2 children she had who were taken away from her while they were babies. So then we get on to episode 2. Tommy's in hospital, given the beating he got. Campbell visits him. He knows that he killed this guy called Eamon Duggan, and he's going to use that to use him as his spy and basically blackmail him. They both both know Grace is in America and she's married, so you can kind of gather the gunshot didn't kill either of them. So Tommy writes a letter to Winston Churchill asking for an export license, which they grant him, which is another means of, you know, them controlling him and making sure he pretty much plays by what they say. And then he goes to London, hoping to make an alliance and ally with Alfie Solomons, who is brilliantly played by Tom Hardy. Like I've said before in one of my other videos, I'm becoming a massive Tom Hardy fan. The guy is amazing. He is a leader of the Jewish racetrack gang, but he's not really welcoming to Tommy. He does, however, encounter Ada, who has been rescued at this point by the Peaky Blinders, and as a means of laundering money, buys her a house. So back in Birmingham, Tommy has to keep covering for his older brother Arthur, who's totally off the rails by this point. He's haunted by the war and everything. He's just proper losing his mind. He gets into a boxing ring with a young lad and just basically just beats the holy hell out of him and ends up killing this poor kid. Tommy finds out what happened to Polly's children. Her daughter died, but her son Michael survived and was rehomed. And Tommy finds him and, you know, gives him the address and everything, speaks to him. And then Michael appears in Birmingham to come and see his mum. So in episode 3, the Irish gangs are fighting each other in Birmingham. Arthur's threatened by the mother of the boy he killed in the boxing match, and despite being offered money, she's just having none of it. Tommy and the gang go to London to join forces with Solomon's gang, who makes it clear that, I'm the boss, sort of thing. Sabini decides to send Tommy a message and has his men kill the Digbeth kid, which was one of the Shelby gang. Tommy swears revenge is like, it's like, you killed one of ours, that's it now, gloves are off, sort of thing, it's on. And Tommy decides to buy a racehorse, just giving him a credible reason to get into the race courses and, be around there. And while he's at the auction, he meets a well-to-do posh trainer called May Carlton. As he returns home, him and the gang are ambushed, but they manage to kill off the assailants. Michael, who's the new member of the family, Polly's son, watched it all really calmly and makes it clear, no, I want to stay with you guys, I don't want to go back home. I'm staying with you. Moving on to episode 4. Campbell uses Tommy's export licence to blackmail him into committing another murder for the Irish gangsters. The target is a political opponent of the Crown's pro-treaty plan for Ireland. Meanwhile, in London, Arthur, whose cocaine habit is just off the rails. I mean, I didn't even know cocaine were around that early, I'll be honest. But he's just absolutely on one. And it's starting to really sort of scare Tommy and freak him out and everything. Arthur takes the Blinders on a rampage to take over Sabina's club, whilst Tommy's distillery in Camden Town prepares to send 500 bottles of whiskey to Prohibition hit America, which obviously those of you who've done history, etc., will know that at one point alcohol, liquor, whatever you want to call it, was completely banned in the States, so they used to import it, and that is how people like Al Capone and various other gangsters made all their money. So yeah, so with Tommy sending the bottles to America, that is the last of the events which drives Sabine into proposing a pact with Alfie Solomons and the Jewish mob. Michael gets taken on as Tommy's accountant and discovers just how powerful the Shelby family are when a friend of his who's black gets refused service at a pub. He mentions it and the Blinders go around and just destroy the pub, just absolutely decimate it. May Carlton collects Tommy's horse, which he finally decides to call Grace's secret, obviously meaning that he was aware that she was undercover at some point. She collects it to train it, and he calls in for a progress report and ends up in bed with her like you do. So once he gets back to Birmingham, he gets details of his assignment from Campbell and makes a phone call to London. So then we move on to episode 5. So by this point, all the Shelby's London concerns are just closed down. All the Blinders are arrested or they're on the run, whilst Solomon frames Arthur for murder and Sabini really ruthlessly takes back his club. Campbell reminds Tommy that he can use his family as leverage to make him go through with the assassination, and arrests Michael in his part in the destruction of the Marquis of Lawn pub, which, obviously nothing to do with all he said, but they'd refused his friend's service. So Polly has sex with Campbell to get him released. Grace comes back to London to see a fertility doctor and ends up having sex with Tommy. Afterwards, he visits May, who he confesses to that, I still love Grace. Goes back to Birmingham and tells Campbell where and how he's going to kill the victim. So we get on to episode 6, which makes sense after episode 5. So Tommy cons Solomon into giving a share of his export business, as well as getting the murder charge against Arthur, dropped, which frees his brother. And then as Derby Day, which is a massive horse racing thing over here, I don't follow horse racing, but I'm aware of Derby Day. As that arrives, Tommy writes a letter to be opened in the event of his death, stating that Campbell's forced him to kill Field Marshal Russell, so that the culprits appear to be the IRA with his gypsy allies about to take over Sabina's racetrack licenses, explaining that he created a diversion to distract the police, but none of the rest of the
and crack, where secrets lie in the border fires.
Goodbye to May. Grace arrives, pregnant by Tommy and claiming to love him. So, Tommy's ex-prostitute secretary, Lizzie, helps him kill Russell, the field marshal, whilst the rest of the Peaky Blinders go on a rampage and just destroy Sabina's gaming licenses, in the knowledge that once they're physically destroyed, they will have to reapply for them. But thanks to May, she can recommend that the Shelby brothers take over, so they'll get all the racing contracts. Polly, meanwhile, gets her revenge on Campbell, but then Tommy is abducted by members of the Ulster Voluntary Force, or I believe the Red Right Hand, which gets referenced in the title music, on Campbell's orders and taken away to be shot. There is, however, a twist. So, overall, a lot more action in this season, whatever you want to call it. I was telling my friend about it, and I could only really describe it as the series where it kicks off big style. The writers really know how to leave you wanting more, to leave a cliffhanger. I mean, like I say, I was lucky that I was binge watching it on Netflix, and I didn't have to wait from the end of season 2 to start season 3, because it would have seemed like forever and I probably would have lost my mind. But yeah, another great series. Like I said, if you found the first series slow, give it a go till you get onto this series, because this is where everything just starts to really escalate now, and things just go absolutely mental. So yeah, like I said, another great series. Really enjoyed it. So I'll leave it there, and I will be back with part 3, which will obviously be series 3 or season 3, as my friends, well, the States, companies in the States like to call them. So yeah, that'll do it for series 2, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave any comments if you're a newcomer to Peaky Blinders, if I've sort of piqued your interest, or if you're a Peaky Blinders fan, please feel free to leave a comment down below and tell me what you thought of this series, which you thought were the best so far, the first or the second, who your favourite character is. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Shelby. I think mine probably is Tommy, but I do kind of like Johnny, the younger. But yeah, so I say, please feel free to leave a like, leave a comment, whatever. Let me know if, like I said, I have piqued your interest and you have started watching this on Netflix or streaming it or wherever you get your stuff from. Or if you, like I said, somebody who's watched it, let me know what you think and which was your favourite series so far. Don't want to go too far ahead because there may be some people who haven't watched it. So, but yeah, series 3 will be up next, guys, and I'll leave it here for now. So keep your eyes peeled for series 3, plot skims and reviews and everything. As always, that will do it for now. Bye for now.